Welcome to Movies Are Real for the month of January 2017. I am your host, George, the host with the most, self-proclaimed best host of podcasting. Ryan Lance, you're here too. You're present in this room.
Present.
Thanks. Carrie Lyles.
Present?
Good job.
Class is in session. Let's talk about
We're gonna learn you about some films.
Let's talk the rule of thirds. Let's talk about it. This is a monthly movies podcast where we talk about the movie releases of the month prior and what we're looking forward to the next month. January 2018, 2K18 is going to be the best year for movies ever, and we are here to report on them.
Some say January is one of the best movies of the year to come out. Because we all definitely went to the theater a lot.
We got some stuff here.
We got some scoops, some hot scoops.
Obviously, it is a new year, and if you listen, did last year did we put our best of before the year ended or after? Okay, well then, you might wonder, where is the best of? And if you follow us on Twitter, you might also be like, where is the best of? Well, folks, we're waiting to cash in on that good Oscars hype. So that won't be up until March. We have recorded, the first episode is in the can. And I don't think anyone got too hurt.
Speak for yourself.
But we will record the second part later in this month, and that'll go up all in March.
Eventually,
so if you're looking for that. And that'll be done. Yeah, we never have to talk about the movies 2017 ever again.
What movies do you guys still have left to watch?
I have to watch The Lure.
Yes, you do.
And I have to watch Raw.
Yes, you do.
And Blade Runner.
Oh, fuck. And Blade Runner. God damn it.
I have Blade Runner, and I live across the street from you now, so
It is true.
you have no excuses.
It's true. I can't jump over your gate. Anyways, 2017, we won't talk about that later. 2018, let's start off with the hottest movie, the movie I definitely didn't fall asleep for, Insidious, The Final Key?
The Last Key.
The Last
You
Key.
almost had it.
The Last Key. Boy, let me tell you what, this movie was so comfortable and relaxing and rejuvenating because George fell right asleep because he had a fever and he had a nice fever nap and it was delicious. What the hell happened in Insidious 4?
The Last Key.
The Last Key, sorry.
Yeah, gee, unprofessional. Just unprofessional.
We don't want to use the number 4 and let you know that the series has gone on too long yet.
No.
Excited for this to be one of those horror installments with either the word final or last in the title, and it's for not to be the actual final or last installment in that franchise.
It'll be like Jigsaw. The next one will be called whatever the fucking old lady's name is.
My favorite one of that is like when the fourth Final Destination was called The Final Destination. It's like, oh, finally they're done. And then the next year, Final Destination 5 came out. And it's like, then why'd you fucking call that one The? What?
The Insidious.
Oh my god. Anyway, write this down. We gotta get James Wan on the phone.
Lin Shaye and the Mystery Crew are back at it, and this time it's personal as
it's her own house.
it's her own home. And so, yeah, I forget Lin Shaye's character's name, but Lin Shaye, the older lady from Insidious that they call out towards the halfway of the first movie, is like, can you help us with this demon man?
This is my bad. This is the franchise that I like. I should have been prepared. I'm sorry.
Carrie's really excited for Insidious.
I remember when Insidious 2 came out, she sat me down in my dorm room and forced me to watch the first one right before we saw the second one in theaters.
Is her name.
Elise. So yeah, we see her come back to her childhood home as someone calls her up, ring ring, I need your help with the ghosts. And then I fell asleep, but apparently it's a work, and there's her dad wasn't, well, first of all, of course, her dad was an abuser. Classic. Of
course.
Obviously.
Cinema.
Great.
Tried to beat the ghosts out of the house.
Beat the ghosts out of the house.
Same.
Turns out he was keeping people in prison. Man, okay, I'm not even gonna try. What the fuck happened in this movie? Because I was asleep.
It was like Rings.
Ryan.
So let me try to remember what the fuck happened in this movie.
I'll try to.
So it began when she was a young girl and she was seen in her childhood home. It was right outside of a prison.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And there were executions.
Yeah.
In the prison, because prison, and ghosts from the whole thing. All these bad ghosts would always eventually find the way into her house, and with her ghostly psychic powers, it would just fucking drive her crazy. And her dad was like, I ain't afraid of no ghost, and would like beat her until the ghost came out. And then eventually, she ran off and became the wildly successful actor.
And her
Lynchey.
brother had a whistle.
Yeah.
Really important whistle.
Yeah. The movie made it very clear that the whistle was important. What for?
Because the mom shows up when you blow the whistle.
Oh my God.
Just like in Insidious 3.
So fast forward to present day, after the events of Insidious 3, I don't fucking remember, and we're
They're a team now.
The timeline is that this one happens after Insidious 3 and right before Insidious 1.
Right.
I believe.
What did I say?
I think you
Because
said
at
that.
the ending, spoilers, or at the ending of the last key, she gets she sees the little
Daniel, whoever the fuck.
Demon Dan baby demon from the first one. She's like, oh, I gotta go help Patrick Wilson.
That is true. Patrick Wilson does need assistance. And so some revelations are made about her past, her father specifically, and the dude that called in the call?
The same ghost that made her dad evil and keep people in the basement possessed this guy and made him keep someone in the basement.
Okay.
And then she was like, you feed off hatred, but you could fucking starve. And then she punched it in the neck and then it went away.
Okay.
I should try that.
Boy, we're really scooping out of the water out of this well. There's not much
it's been
here.
over a month,
Yeah,
and this movie is very forgettable.
I saw this movie by myself at 9 a.m. on one Wednesday. I was alone in the theater. It was pretty great. My favorite part was when they were, I don't remember the setup to this joke, but they were talking about their car, and the guy was like, Winnebago ghost.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
My other favorite part was when she was...
Is that your review of the movie?
Winnebago ghost. There's another part where she was in that tunnel and she found all the suitcases with like skulls and stuff in them.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, these are the remains of all the people that were kept in here. And there was like a stack of them blocking the way, and there was like a smaller hat box, and she just shoved it. And it's like, oh, well, I guess that person doesn't get brought back. That's my favorite. Favorite part.
For the fans of the Insidious franchise, I know there's...
It's been a minute since they had one, since the team had a home run.
Will this one satisfy their craving for bad movies?
I like Insidious a lot. And
the first one?
Yeah. Well, I like the first one the most, obviously, because that's the one that actually feels like it was trying. But I think this one's kind of... It's not bad. It's bad, but it's not... I can still watch it and say that there's things about it that I like. But it doesn't feel like it has the same sort of unique vision as the first one. It feels like it's become very run-of-the-mill.
I would even say that about the second one, personally. That first one...
The second one was still kind of weird, and then the third one was like, okay, and then this one was like, okay.
Right, they got a lot more normie as they went along.
Definitely.
But yeah,
Insidious is the normie ghost franchise.
Well, and
of the 20th
this one
century.
had like the exact same ending as the third one, where they're like, we're in the further, and there's an evil demon nondescript guy who's feeding off of hatred. Oh wait, the mother's here to help us defeat him, and then
she sees a vision of like a future ghost, and it's like, oh, there's always more ghosts. Oh god.
Yeah. So
good movie.
What was the name of the monster? Key Face? That's what it was. Key Face.
Key,
Good old
the
Key
Face.
the key master. Are you the gatekeeper?
But yeah, I don't know. We don't have much to say about this. It's not great. Listen, like I said, I took a great nap, so I have no qualms with. I was gonna say Insidious for some reason.
Insidious.
Look, man, there's 2 points in the movie where it's revealed that someone that we once thought was a ghost was not actually a ghost, and those are pretty fun moments because everyone just stopped because they had to like tell the audience like, "That's not a ghost." Ruh-roh. And it's pretty great. She's
just so used to seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
And then, no, that was just a dirty woman in your laundry room.
Oh, right. I woke up for that. Right. I woke up for that.
And you're like, fucking dumb. Go back to sleep.
No, I was like, that seems... I was just really confused. I was like, what happened? All right, I'm going back to bed. Anyways, making a hard pivot tonally, but it's still a sequel. Paddington 2.
Yeah.
Carrie, you are known as a bear enthusiast, bear fan.
It's true.
What do you have to say about Paddington 2? Everyone knows Paddington. Apparently a great movie. I know a lot of people were dunking on it before it actually came out, but then it turned out Paddington was actually good, heartfelt family time.
Mm-hmm.
With Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, the first
right?
one has Nicole Kidman. Yeah, she's the antagonist.
All right. Well, does he eat marmalade in this one?
Oh, what do you think, George?
Oh man. No, for reals though. What is Paddington 2 about? I don't even know what the first one was about. It was like Stuart Little. Did they adopt a bear?
Sort of. Paddington lives with his aunt and uncle, but they're not really his aunt and uncle. You kind of find out that they just sort of take him in.
Because
they're also bears.
They're also bears?
At the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Okay.
At the very beginning of Paddington 1, he's living in the wilderness with his aunt and uncle bear, air quotes, and they are more advanced bears because they interacted with this explorer guy from London, and he was telling them all about London, and he was showing them how to survive, and he was like, when you get enough resources, you can come to London and visit me, and you'll be welcome with open arms. And then they can't, because in this one you find out they never got the chance to fully go to London because they find Paddington and they have to take care of him. Well, his name's not Paddington yet, but and then in the first one he goes to London because his uncle dies, and then his aunt is like, well, I can't take care of you, I gotta go to the bear retirement home, so you gotta go to London, they'll take care of you.
Wait, are all bears just sentient and intelligent in this universe?
These were like, it's kind of weird, but it's I guess so. They were more advanced bears, but there's really funny scenes in the first one when he first goes to the Paddington station where he gets his name, and when the family he ends up living with first walks by him, he's standing there because he had always been told that London was so polite, and so he was just sitting there being like, hello, how are you? And I need a home, and everyone was walking by just ignoring him. And then the dad from the family is like, oh, there's some sort of bear over there, he's probably trying to sell something. And so it's sort of like a thinly veiled like immigration thing where they're like, oh, now a bear moved into, well, there goes the neighborhood, there's a bear living here now. And so it's a nice movie. The first one's pretty good, and the second one, I feel like they're like pretty similar tonally, and they're just nice non-confrontational movies where sweet things happen around this bear. And in this new one, it's going to be his aunt's birthday, and he needs to send her something special, and he finds this pop-up book at this antique shop from this guy that he befriended in the first one, and it's a pop-up book of all these landmarks of London. He's like, oh, this would be perfect. And then the guy's like, oh, well, that's a really expensive pop-up book, so Paddington has to work odd jobs to try and afford this pop-up book. But then Hugh Grant, he works at this circus, and he knows a little something about this pop-up book, and he's like, wait a minute, I need that. So then he steals it, and Paddington sees him steal it, and he chases him. And then Hugh Grant gets away because he's this like disguise. He plays an actor in the movie, and he's got all these disguises and shit. But so he escapes, and then the police just see Paddington, and they're like, "Where's that book?" And he's like, "No, I was just chasing guys." Like, what? He went up in a puff of smoke. Yeah. And so then Paddington gets sent to jail.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's in jail for a good portion of the movie, and it's just about him. He kind of like brings a sense of family and camaraderie to the prisoners, but then it's also about the family trying to get proof that it was the actor guy. And he finds the actor guy knows that this pop-up book is actually like a treasure map, and there's clues, and he has to go to each monument to find clues to get this treasure. It's a little convoluted and weird, but it's a very nice movie. It made me happy. It was sweet.
It's a good family time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice.
That sounds...
Because I know, like, overseas, this is a very popular movie, but I know when we saw Insidious, when we were walking past, I saw a showing of Paddington 2, and there was one seat that was sold.
That was me.
Okay.
You had already pre-bought the seat.
Yeah, but not a big Paddington fans over here.
Yeah. People are like, Padding who?
Padding what?
I'm trying to picture who Hugh Grant is right now, and I can't right now.
The man of your dreams?
Yeah, he's like big Britain guy. I think he was in like Bridget Jones's Diary or some shit.
Oh, yeah,
he's in a bunch around.
I know who that is.
Shit.
I know who that is.
He's always the guy who's like, oh, I'm too handsome, but I'm also a little awkward. What do I do?
In this one, he plays an actor.
An actor. Hi, I'm actor Hugh Grant. Playing actor Hugh Grant.
So just a good time, huh?
Yeah, and it was very nice.
That's good. Is there
I cried a lot.
No crass humor like
Paddington's
like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? None of that.
Paddington goes to jail and he's just like, fuck.
No, he goes.
And then the movie takes a hard right turn. And he's like, shit, fucking damn it,
fucking damn it.
There is,
oh my god, I forgot one of my favorite goofs of this movie. Sally Hawkins from Shape of Water is the mom, and there's this subplot where she's training to swim the channel, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. She likes being in the water. And there's this part where they're on this train at the end, and the car gets derailed and ends up at the bottom of this lake, and she's like, I can do this. I'm a proficient swimmer. And so I'm seeing Sally Hawkins submerged in water on the big screen again, and I was like, oh, this is a great movie. This is perfect. Yeah, all right. It's a nice movie.
Do they give him marmalade sandwiches in prison?
Well, you see, George, the prison chef is a big mean guy, and no one tells him that his food is bad. But Paddington's like, well, if I'm just kind to him, then I can. And he's like, sir, I think we should do this. And then Paddington has that marmalade sandwich that he always keeps under his hat for emergencies.
I didn't know he did
and
this.
And then the chef is like, he like shoves it in his mouth. Paddington does, like, as a defense mechanism. I don't remember the exchange, but he's like, ah! And then the chef is like, what is this? And he's like, it's marmalade. I can help you make it. So then they make marmalade for the entire prison, and then they have a whole gourmet menu, and they turn the prison basically into a cafe.
What?
It sounds like the kind of hijinks.
There's at the end, spoilers. Hugh Grant ends up getting convicted and sent to jail. And as the credits play, there's a whole big dance number with all the people in prison, and Hugh Grant is leading it. It was great.
This movie sounds fake.
What?
It reminds me of Mousetrap for some reason. You think of Mousetrap?
It's like Paddington fan fiction brought to the
Mousetrap. That's what it reminds me of.
The game? The board
No,
game?
the movie.
It was a movie?
Mouse Hunt.
Mouse Hunt, sorry.
Mouse Hunt.
Who's the lead actor in that?
Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane, that's the one.
I do not remember this at all.
No, for a second I thought Mouse Hunt wasn't a real movie. I just thought I made it up until someone actually referenced it. I was like, oh, thank God.
Stuart Little?
No, that has
Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, that has other British Hugh.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. Paddington 2, good old family time.
The best rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes.
Is it?
It's got 100% still.
Oh, so does Black Panther. So Black Panther and...
No, Black Panther...
Did it go down? Oh, yeah, I saw. One critic.
One critic said there was not enough action. So he gave it a negative review.
All I know is that Paddington 2 is better than Lady Bird. Just saying.
How fucking...
I relate to this bear more than Sigrun Rowe. Speaking of coming of age movies, Call Me by Your Name is a movie we saw.
You two saw.
Right, us two saw.
I did not.
I saw it. I wasn't really. I didn't feel like strongly about it, but I was like, you know what? Fine, I can watch a good romance movie, and it's probably gonna be in our movie of the year discussions. And yeah, Carrie, how do you feel? Well, actually, Call Me by Your Name, Timothy Chalamet, Armie Hammer, based on the book by the same name.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And this is. I don't think it's. I am under the impression this is sort of an It situation where this isn't the entire story.
No, yeah.
It's like the book, stuff
I've heard
happens.
That there's like sequels in the making too for this movie, and I was like, all right.
So yeah, Timothy Chalamet lives in Italy with his dad, and Armie Hammer comes to go study. Be like a
yeah, he's like studying abroad
underneath his father.
Yeah,
and then romance ensues under the beautiful like fucking vineyards and shit of Italy. And yeah, Carrie, how do you feel about Call Me by Your Name?
I really liked it. Like I didn't know how I would feel about it because it's gotten such grandiose praise, and everyone's like,
that's why it turned me off. That's why it turned me off about it.
And I was like, I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but I really liked it, and I found myself really engaged with the story, and I fucking love the music. Oh,
music's very good.
Oh, I fucking love that song. I listen to that song every day. But it's like, even though I can't really relate to like a gay romance, I still fucking feel it in my heart. And every beat of this movie, I'm just like, oh my god.
There is, I think the parts that are relatable Obviously not the fact that it is gay romance, but a big part of this movie, and I think maybe it turned me off a little bit, but I understand why. Like Timothy Chalamet is he doesn't know what the hell's going on with himself. Like he's not all formed, and part of me didn't like it because it all felt very high school to me. Like I was like, Timothy Chalamet, he's got some shit to figure out. Yeah. And there is that one character, I forget her name, who's sort of a love interest for Timothy Chalamet a bit, in the way like that relationship goes, like this is the most high school fucking shit. Oh, yeah. Like the way it all goes down, and I was like, this is fucking whatever. But the point is, like, that's the point of the character. That's the character's, like, that's him. He's a guy figuring things out, and there's this summer romance that happens, and it's very meaningful. I'm of the opinion that I don't think they'd make it personally, but this movie, when like it has the intimate moments, are extremely sweet, and they feel very real and human, and it's under like the backdrop of Italy and this wonderful soundtrack, and it just. I'm like 20, and I feel like, man, I already like wasted my youth. Like it's fucking. Also because Timothy Chalamet just doesn't do shit. He just hangs out and just fucking, I don't know, goes dancing.
He transcribes music, goes out at night, goes swimming.
Dances.
That's what he spends his days doing. Just I'm gonna swim for now.
Armie Hammer, obviously, he's top billing in this movie, which is weird because I think Timothy Chalamet gets a lot of the attention. But man, Armie Hammer is fucking delightful and absolutely. You can fall for this guy. Yeah. He's very much fucking summer love, fucking that one that got away. Sort of. What was this, man? What was the song that he dances to?
I don't remember.
Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking hate myself because it was "Love My Way," and that was the part of the movie that. As a big fan of psychedelic furs and like all like 80s music in general, and the lighting and his cheesy ass dance and how beautiful Armie Hammer is, and the way Timothy Chalamet is just like fucking, it's fucking beautiful. I love that so much. But for me, there are a lot of moments in this movie, but for me, like as altogether as a romance thing, it didn't woo me.
You didn't get too invested.
I didn't get too invested.
For someone who. Like, the reason I wasn't seeing this was, for one, the trailer didn't, like, read very well to me.
Yeah, trailers, nah.
And also, like, I did not like the age difference between the two main people.
That is interesting. So Timothy Chalamet's character, Elio, is 18 in that movie.
And Armie Hammer, like...
He's, like, 24?
He's 24?
He does not look 24, though. That's the thing. He looks like 38.
Yeah, he looks like a 30-year-old man.
He looks like a 30-year-old man. But yeah, I think that is fair. I think that's also the thing. I don't want to be dismissive, like
24.
Okay, in the movie, like I don't want to be dismissive like of this romance just because like there's an age thing. Yeah. Like I get it, and it's also again Timothy Chalamet. He's 18.
Armie Hammer is 31 in real life, though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He looks 38.
Yeah.
I mean, extremely attractive.
24? Mm-hmm. Huh.
All right.
It's not too much of a difference.
No, it's not.
That doesn't.
I don't know. For someone who's 18, I'm like, maybe.
It also doesn't help that Timothy Chalamet looks like he's 16.
Yeah, I just saw him in Lady Bird where he was like a 17-year-old boy.
Sure. And he plays almost the same character kind of in this movie. This guy just doesn't.
Is it a sequel?
He like it's very freshman year of high school. It's very freshman year. Like, doesn't know who he is. The dude fucking fucks a peach and busts a fucking nut in it. And they have.
I can't believe I did see this.
Sorry, spoilers. Sorry, spoilers.
Oh, that scene was spoiled for me. That was like the scene that everyone was talking about. So
I'm shocked I didn't get spoiled on it.
As soon as I saw there's like just a shot of a single peach hanging from the tree, and you see a little scrawny hand come grab the peach. I was like, oh, here we go.
But yeah, best moment in 2017. Armie Hammer dancing to "Love My Way." Fucking great. And that's the weird thing. Again, I keep mentioning this trailer, and I think it's just a probably you and me thing. I don't think this is because the shots in the trailer are great moments from the movie, but it's just I don't know.
The context isn't there.
I guess so. Yeah.
I think I just always was hooked because I fucking love that fucking Sufjan, however you say his name.
Sufjan Stevens?
Yeah, I really love that song.
That's a good song. I think I don't like the scene it's used in, though. But I like the song as like a theme for like the whole movie.
Yeah. Well, and they do that fucking remix of Fetal Devices where it's all the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. And then Visions of Gideon at the end. Goddamn.
And also, there are moments. To your point, there are a lot of moments, and even like Armie Hammer's character, who I'm sorry I can't remember his name. Oliver, right? There are moments where like that youthfulness and that inexperience is always like he keeps bringing it up. Is like, hey, was that too much? Did I come out too strong? And there's the moment where Elio's trying to be very forward with him, and it's just like the most kid. You need to fucking go home and call your mom. Go to fucking bed. And I think that's the stuff that I think it doesn't jive with me because it just feels like I don't know.
Too much.
No, it's not that. It's just like you're not gonna make it. Timothy Chalamet, fucking Elio doesn't have his shit together. He's gonna do some stupid shit, and they're gonna break up. And I don't believe in them. Is what I'm saying.
You don't believe in true love?
Nah, I don't know.
Believe in peach fucking?
That's fine.
That's
that would be actually awful. That was that's probably one of the moments like this kid just doesn't. He just fucking doesn't know, and that's part of like the movie is about youth and it's a coming of age story. So I think it's a really silly scene, but also it really works for what they're trying to go for. But yeah, I like it a whole lot. I'm bummed I didn't love it as much as everyone else did.
I really liked it.
But yeah, it's good. I'm glad I saw it. I'm really glad I saw it. But yeah.
I was moved. I cried at this one too.
Where did you cry?
When they're at the train station and he's getting on the train. I was like, oh god.
I thought it was gonna be at the end.
Oh, that. Oof.
It's a great shot. That the ending of them. The shot is great. It's
good.
iconic. It's a great shot.
As far as minutes long uninterrupted scenes that we had last year, the end credits of Call Me by Your Name is very good.
Mm-hmm. And what was the actor who plays his dad? Because he's also in.
Michael Stahl.
Yeah, he's also in Shape of Water as the spy guy. He's great in this movie.
I did not realize that, and then I was like, and I just saw his name, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, he is.
Like, oh, what?
He is extreme.
Oh my god, no! I lied. I started crying when he got near the end of that fucking speech. That
I respect that. Like, I respect that more often. It's a very good speech. Ooh. It's a very good speech. But yeah, Call Me by Your Name. It's a pretty good. Pivoting to movies that aren't about real people, but the Japanese cartoons.
How dare you?
Japanese animated motion pictures.
Yes.
Mary and the Witch Flower?
Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Before we get into it,
sure.
My dad was asking me before I left what movies we're talking about tonight, and I read him all of them. And he was like, Mary and the Witch's Flower. I've never heard of that. And I was like, oh, it's an anime. And he was like, oh, well, I have that muted on Facebook. I was like, me too, Dad. Me too.
Galaxy Brain, how about you just deactivate your Facebook? Wow. Anyways, Ryan, this movie looked great. Tell me about this.
So like the backstory of this is Studio Ghibli, the It people in anime.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of been ever since Hayao Miyazaki retired like the 8th time or whatever, even though like he's back now and he's working on something. The last time he retired, the whole studio kind of like
it was rough.
It was rough there, and like one of the directors there and like an art director there, him and a bunch of people went on to create their own studio. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
I will look it up.
They made their own studio, and this was their first feature film, so like that's why it has a lot of that Studio Ghibli style.
It looks like it, yeah.
Oh, definitely. And basically, the story of it's based off an old English folk tale, I believe, about this little girl, about 11 years old. Her name
Studio Ponic.
Studio Ponic, yeah. Little girl.
Based on the Little Broomstick.
Yes. She's a girl. She lives out in the country of England, and she just moved out there, and she doesn't really like. She argues a lot with her parents and people, and she just doesn't know what she's doing. And then she discovers this broomstick, and it just flies her away into the sky, and she meets the world of witches and wizards, and she discovers that. Well, before that, she found the witch's flower.
The titular witch's flower.
The titular witch's flower. This was before she found the broomstick. I'm sorry, it's been a while.
It's not Mary and the Witch's broomstick, right?
She goes into the... yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. But basically, she goes into the woods because she's following these two little cute cats, and they lead her to this flower. And she's like, ooh, the flower. She picks up the flower, and like some liquid from the flower gets on her and gives her these two little like flower marks. And then that leads her to find the broomstick and go into the wizard place, and she discovers that with this flower, she has the power to use witches' magic and everything like that. And she just explores a very Harry Potter-esque world and figures out who she is inside.
Is Eddie Redmayne there?
No, unfortunately.
So this looks gorgeous.
I was actually annoyed going to see it because it was only showing one day, and it was a premiere event, so it cost me fucking $15.
Because it's a Fathom event.
I know.
They charge up that ass for everything they do.
And like they didn't tell me if it was dubbed or subbed, and like I went in there and it was dubbed, and I was like, no, it was subbed, and I was like, I kind of didn't want to read tonight. Like you know how that is.
Yeah, you're not a fan of dub. I mean sub.
I'll watch it. Like if I have to be like in the mood for it, you know.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And plus, like it came out, like the dub just came out. That's why it's in theaters. So like I wanted to see that. But the set was fine. But yeah, very pretty movie.
It looks gorgeous.
Very boring movie though.
That's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Like, how is the momentum?
It has like the style of a very Studio Ghibli movie, but like
really
it has no substance at all. Like the magical like wizard world, like it's like crazy, but like it doesn't do anything with it.
Okay,
and
that's what I was worried. I was
gonna
gonna ask you
wizards
next.
are just like background people. The only two like wizard characters are like the dean and like one of the scientists. And they want to find out where she has the flower because they need the flower so they can give everyone magic powers or whatever. And they're turning people and animals into like gross magical creatures, just horrible people. And she's like, but magic, blah, blah, blah. And yeah,
it sounds like a movie you'd watch while you're doing something else.
Yeah, it's just nothing to it, and that's kind of disappointing to me.
It looks fucking gorgeous.
Oh, it's super gorgeous. There's just not. But like the magic stuff isn't really like do anything for me. It really just feels like a very light, very quick Harry Potter. Like it was like, let's take all of like this fun of Hogwarts and put it into like a 20-minute scene,
Bleh.
and then do nothing with it. And then there's reveals that are like super obvious, and then there's jokes about like, I'm a redhead, and then there's a bully in her hometown is like, you little fucking red monkey, you, and there's a scene. Where it's stupid, they say to Lana, like, is this gonna go anywhere? But then there's a scene where she's escaping and she swaps her place with a red monkey, and they're like, what? And I'm like, come on, guys.
Nice.
That's very lazy. But yeah, if you're from the audience, I saw it with, they all fucking loved it. They were like laughing and crying, and I was just like, this is fine.
A very Your Name audience.
I see what you're going there. I see what you're going there.
I was the same thing.
Yeah, but
everyone in that
that's a
theater
good
was very
movie,
excited.
though. That was a good movie, though.
Oh, okay.
But like, there's nothing like wrong with Mary and the Witch's Flower. It's just
fine.
very uninspired and not interesting.
Okay.
And
That makes me feel a little better that I missed it.
I'm excited to see what the studio does next, especially
Right.
now that they're basically competing with their old bosses.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's fine. If you're super into anime, you'll probably like it regardless. But
Sucks for Hayao Miyazaki. Had to come back to clean up a fucking mess.
well, you know.
Fucking Nino Kuni looks so goddamn bad. Oh my
Kuni
god,
too?
what did
Yeah.
you guys fucking do? Oh,
Ryan
Ryan,
is
What
confused.
is that?
Ryan, is there any other anime movies this year that we should look out for?
There is one. I will look up the name of it right now. It's on my little list of movies I'm looking
I
forward
enjoy
to.
watching anime motion pictures, not anime television shows, because they're all terrible, except Yuri on Ice.
Fair.
And Devilman Crybaby, it's pretty good.
Actually, I started that.
Oh, okay.
Not a huge fan of that
yeah,
one.
you were
There's
okay.
a lot of fucking.
Every other scene in that
Nice.
television show is someone jerking off, fucking, or yeah.
What was the name?
Anyways.
The movie, the other one I look for is Miri of the Future.
Oh, okay.
Very well-known director.
Okay.
He made.
Oh
made
shit!
these
Okay,
movies.
gotcha. All right, on my radar
Director
immediately.
of Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Wolf Children, Boy and His Beast, Summer Wars.
The Digimon movie.
The Digimon.
Big
movie.
fan.
This is his next movie.
Oh fuck! All right, well I'm excited for that then. That's why I'm in the
Have
mood.
you seen
That's
A
why I
Girl
most
Who
anticipated.
Leapt?
Not yet.
You need to watch
It's
that.
probably most
'cause that's
anticipated movie
very
now.
Good. That's a very good anime.
Anyways, you know who's back, Ryan?
Who's back?
Lin back at it. Really excited when I saw that the Midnight Man stars Lin and Robert Englund. Apparently, what the fuck is the Midnight Man? This next movie we're talking
Okay,
about.
I'm pretty sure this is the 2018 release. All I know is that they were playing it at the Alamo for like 2 days. It says 2016 on IMDb. I think it said 2018 when I rented it on Amazon. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to talk about it anyway. So you remember the Bye Bye Man, right?
Yes.
Fuck that guy. He's dead. The Midnight Man is here to stay.
So the Midnight Man is what's... By the way, Carrie forced me to watch the Bye Bye Man recently.
Your thoughts?
Unbearable.
Whoa, what?
Every moment is uninteresting and
What
just not great.
What do you mean?
It's just a dresser. They just carve the name...
January 19th, 2018.
Hell yeah.
It's just an end table, and he didn't even, like, break the end table.
He yeets it into the forest.
And then a little girl finds it, and he's like, "Whoa, what was on the end table?" And she's like, "Dad, I can't read in the dark." And he's like, "Okay, bitch."
She's like, "What do you think I am? A flashlight?"
He's like, "I swear to God, I'll trap us both off a bridge."
That movie's hilarious. I don't know what
So
your problem
what the fuck is the Midnight Man?
So how does it one up the 1-star quality that is the Bye Bye Man?
Well, it's just as bad.
Is
but
Robert
there's-
Englund the Midnight Man?
No, he's not. But he
Oh.
might as well be because they're trying to make the Midnight Man all Freddy-esque. But so
What is the Midnight Man?
I'm getting there. so this girl is taking care of her crazy grandma, and that crazy grandma is Lynn Shay. And the movie starts like when Lynn Shay was a child, and they're playing this
again.
fucking. They're playing. Right. They're playing this fucking spooky game, and it's the Midnight Man game, and there's all these fucking rules, and they're like, don't leave the circle, and then one bitch leaves the circle, and she gets her head ripped off, and then this other kid runs outside, and he fucking explodes. And that's in the first 3 minutes of the movie, and I was like, hell yeah! So then, fast forward to Lynn Shay being an old woman, and her granddaughter is taking care of her, and they find the granddaughter and her fucking boyfriend, I guess, find this box, and there's all this shit in there, like these pictures of people, and it's like on the back, it's like, fucking John Doe, his fear was snakes, and it's like, what does this mean? And then they find a rules sheet that's been ripped in half, and they're like, oh, the Midnight Man game. They're setting up all this shit, and Lynn Shay walks in, and she's like, no! And she's pointing at them, you found the game! And the girl's like, okay, Grandma, go back to bed. So they set up all this shit, and then this third bitch comes over, and she is the fucking star of the movie. She's the creepypasta one. And she walks in, she's like, what are you guys doing? What is this game? And then and Robert Englund plays Lynn Shay's doctor. And so yeah, basically it's sort of an It situation where the Midnight Man shows up, and there's like, you have to have a candle on you, and if your candle goes out, you have to relight it in a certain amount of time, otherwise the Midnight Man shows up, and if you can't relight it, you have to make a circle of salt, and if you step outside the circle, then he kills you. And he appears as your biggest fear. And the thing that elevates this movie slightly is, I know I've said this before about other bad horror movies, but some of the effects and some of the practical effects are pretty cool, and there's some decent looking scenes, but the dialogue is trash. And
Creepypastas.
I can't believe you guys summoned the Midnight Man. That's the kind of shit you read about in creepypastas. You know what creepypastas are, right?
Do you? Carrie, at one
It's
night,
so
it was like
funny.
at 11 p.m., she sent me a video
Of
that scene, and I was like, what the
I was
fuck
like,
is
this is genius. So yeah, it's basically they have to survive until 3:33, and then they win. But the Midnight
Nice.
Man, they try and make him like this weird comedic relief demon character, and like the creepypasta girl, her fear is
Pasta.
Yes. No, it's a little muddled. I think her fear is getting her throat slit, which, fair. And the dude's fear is, he's like, you're afraid of pain. And it's like, everyone's afraid of pain. But so the creepypasta girl, she killed her rabbit when she was a child. So the Midnight Man appears to her in this fucking Donnie Darko ass fucking rabbit mask. And he's like, now you're gonna feel it. But so yeah, she ends up dying. Spoiler alert.
Huh.
But Yeah, and there's this whole fucking plot where Lin Shaye is possessed by the Midnight Man in a way, and she's been... It is very similar to Insidious The Last Key, now that I'm thinking about it, because she's been, like, a terrible grandma for forever. Like, the granddaughter's mom killed herself, and Lin Shaye didn't care. So she's been evil this whole time.
So the Midnight Man, is it normally a bunny man costume?
No,
what is he normally?
He always just kind of looks like this sort of Dementor-esque, floating around black mist.
Like from Harry Potter?
Yeah, kind of, but he has
like from Mary and the Witch's Curse.
Yes, and he's got like this weird mask thing too, and it's like a weird smiley face. And I don't know if he has that all the time or if he only has that for this one gag that I'm thinking of, where they're inside the, like, a bunch of shit happens, but they're like Lin Shaye you find out that Robert Englund was one of the kids there the night when the first girl got her head ripped off and the guy exploded. He was there, and then Lin Shaye comes down and beats the absolute fucking shit out of Robert Englund and punches him until he dies. And then, so then the two kids that are left, they're inside the salt circle. And earlier, Robert Englund had been like, "You gotta be careful if you're playing the Midnight Man game. He likes to cheat." And they're like, "Well, whatever." And then they're in this circle of salt, and it's 3:30, and the main girl is like, "We beat you, we won!" And the Midnight Man takes off his happy face, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sad," and puts on a sad face. And then it is 3:33, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, we won!" And they leave the salt circle, and the fucking dipshit boyfriend goes over to Robert Englund's body and looks at his watch, and it's like, "Whoops, it's actually still 3 a.m. It's not 3:33 yet." And then the Bible Man comes and kills him, and then it's over. Or the Midnight Man.
Nice.
It's a great movie.
Was this a direct-to-vid joint?
I'm not sure. I know that there.
I think I saw IFC Midnight, so it might have been a simultaneous.
It was. My friend told me that it was playing at the Alamo for like 2 showings or something, and I unfortunately wasn't able to make either of them. But
what a shame.
I know I thought it was just gonna be dumb, but I ended up. Well, it was pretty dumb, but it was like fun and dumb, and so I was pretty upset that I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters. But
see the audience reaction.
Exactly. I would highly recommend The Midnight Man.
Mm-hmm. According to this Rotten Tomatoes user, veterans Englund and Shaye admirably give it their all, but their best efforts are not enough to elevate the subpar material directed in mechanical fashion by Zaraway, which I assume is the director.
Yeah, it's pretty. The dialogue is garbage, and the characters are annoying and stupid. But there's this part where the Midnight Man digs his fingers into the guy who's afraid of pain's face, and it's like, oh, ouch, that looks
painful.
Yeah,
you said it looks.
Painful.
The effects kind of look good.
Yeah, it looks cool. I could tell that there was a little bit of care put into that. And the main girl is afraid of blood, and there's a scene where she winds up in a bathtub full of blood, and then she walks out of the bathtub, and she's all.
Is that how that works? I don't know. Is that how that works, Ryan?
With bathtubs?
No, with like fear of blood.
Yeah, I would not like to wake up in a pool in a bathtub of blood. But I feel like a normal person without that phobia would also be like, oh.
Ew.
I guess.
They would just be like, oh, this is so like annoying.
Lin Shaye's in the other room. She's like, it's your own blood. You're bleeding. It's like, oh my god.
Shout out to Lin Shaye.
If this was my blood, Grandma, I'd be dead. So just go back to bed.
Don't talk about the ghosts or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, watch it.
Shout out to Robert Englund, Lin Shaye. Actually, I don't know about Robert Englund.
I love it when he tries to do other things.
Was this one of those?
I mean, kind of.
I still want to see that movie where he plays the Phantom of the Opera.
That's other things. Anyways, actually, we want to get a quick shout out to Phantom Thread Carrie.
Oh yeah, I saw Phantom Thread, and you guys were dunking on it and saying it looked terrible,
care.
but I really, really liked it. Okay, it was a movie about an extremely toxic relationship, but shit, it was so good, and the dialogue was so funny, and the lady, I don't remember, her name is Alma in the. Good stuff.
Daniel Day-Lewis does it again. Drinks that milkshake.
His last name in the movie is Woodcock, so that's kind of funny. You can get some chuckles
out of that. I'll see the movie, Carrie. You got me.
Also, did we talk about I, Tonya last episode?
Yeah. No, we talked about it on
the pod.
The best.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna talk about it now, but I, Tonya is a movie we also saw, and that's the thing you'll hear a lot about in our best
That's
of.
a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Ryan saw his fucking anime movie instead of seeing I, Tonya.
I mean, you
jackass.
just saw Insidious.
Look at me now.
Look at where I am now.
I got disappointed.
Anyways, slim pickings in January.
What?
February, kind of also. Well, actually, there's one movie. There's one big one that I'm somehow excited for, even though it's a Marvel joint. But getting to the list, Winchester.
You remember the
What's it
Winchester
from
house?
Shaun of the Dead?
No,
Well, Winchester is the gun company.
Oh, right.
Winchester is
So-
the famous mansion that basically this woman, multi-millionaire, she was afraid that like ghosts were like going to flood her mansion because her husband was in a war and killed a bunch of people.
Mhm.
And in her like craziness, she would tell people to like build the house to be more
It's just
complex.
like 50 years of construction on this house. And as someone who grew up constantly watching the Travel Channel and the Discovery Channel and all of the top 50 most haunted places in America, that house was always on there. And I have no idea how it took them this long to make a fucking movie about it, but I'm excited.
Too busy
But
making 5
basically,
million Amityville horror movies.
It's a weird house that has like
There's
hallways
stairways that lead to nowhere and doors that lead to the edge of the... It's interesting.
It'd
cool.
be interesting to like walk through. I don't know about a movie.
That's true.
Hey!
That's true.
I like haunted houses.
Just
and
sounds
I
like Crimson
Helen
Peak.
Mirren. Oh, well, you sold me again.
It is Helen Mirren, you're right.
Anyways, let's talk about the movie that caught everyone by surprise.
A real movie. We were watching The Bye Bye Man and Norm of the North instead of this.
The Cloverfield Paradox got announced and released during the Super Bowl. And it is a thing.
Were you watching the Super Bowl?
I was watching the Super Bowl
Oh,
for
did
the most part while I was at work.
Did you have to do for school or just?
No, I was at work. It was
it
on
just
TV.
and you were like, oh, fine.
That was such a weird experience because I wasn't watching the Super Bowl at all. So it's like a new Cloverfield movie was like fully announced, came out, and was
There's already takes.
overly deemed terrible. And before I even knew about it, I got home and I was like, huh?
Well, we had a movie marathon of The Bye Bye Man and Norm of the North. By the time we got home, it was like, that's disappointing.
I mean, I saw 10 Cloverfield Lane again. That movie's still great. Probably better than I even thought it was.
Yeah. I have seen the Cloverfield Paradox.
You cannot talk about it until next
know.
month, sir.
Yeah, you gotta give me time.
But basically, so you guys know what it's about. It's this space station, and basically the world's energy supply is running out, and they're working on this method of creating a new permanent, better source of energy before chaos ensues down on Earth. And it's just all about all these astronauts up there, and what couldn't happen? Will there be a Cloverfield monster? Maybe, I don't know. Probably. Who cares?
50 Shades Freed. Finally, the ultimate conclusion to the great 50 Shades franchise.
It's finally over. Dakota Johnson's finally able to move on.
Oh man,
She's finally been freed.
I really hope she goes the Kirsten Stewart route and does a bunch of fucking indie movies where she's just sad and passive about everything around her. That sounds
And then
great.
you're like, yes.
That sounds fantastic. Big fan of Dakota Johnson. Yeah. I guess it's my bit to watch this. I guess.
So what happens in this one? Cause like the first
I mean,
one,
I know what the path is.
in the first one they get together. In the second one
Correct.
they're just.
Well, they break up at the end of the first one. Spoilers.
Oh.
What?
No, I can't watch it.
And then
Because
they
we find out
they get
Christian
engaged?
Christian Grey isn't actually into S&M. He's just a masochist. Yeah, that goes bad. And then it turns out they work through it and it's fine. And then, well, I forget. The thing with
Sorry, I'm just thinking about it. He's like, I built this whole fuck room. It's all a lie.
This fuck room's
I mean,
alive.
it's not like fun fucking.
I don't know, man. That trailer, that Taylor Swift music video made it seem like it was fun fucking. Anyways,
your point was right. So the second one, they get back together and they try to make it work, and then they make this whole plot. I can't believe I'm explaining this movie again. Okay, so they make this whole plot of like his stalkers because he had other lovers, but that all gets done by the second third of the movie. And then Dakota Johnson's fucking boss is a creep, and that's a cliffhanger for the third one. Then there's the stepmom of his that raped him when he was a little kid. She's back in the movie. She's played by a famous actress that I can't name off the top of my head, but I assume she's going to be a main point of the third movie. And then they get engaged at the end of the second movie. movie. And so this is the one where they're on their honeymoon, I assume, and their wedding. And then...
They have sex?
Probably.
In these movies, nah.
So,
are you excited, or do you just feel like you have to, like, just check this off the list?
There's room for this one to just be boring, is the thing. Like, stupid, over-the-top, like, fucking soap opera shit happens in 50 Shades Darker. And it's pretty great. 50 Shades of Grey, fantastic soundtrack. Probably one of the best soundtracks 2015. Great soundtrack.
That dumb song is still played on the radio today from that movie.
From 50 Shades of Grey or 50 Shades Freed? I mean, 50 Shades Darker.
50 Shades, the first one.
Which one?
The main song.
There's a lot of songs.
Really?
Weeknd made like 4 songs for that trailer.
Name
movie.
one.
And Danny Elfman.
The Beyonce one?
There was a Beyonce
That's not on the
one?
radio enough.
I don't know.
To be fair, actually,
Which one are
there
you
is
talking about?
one of the Weeknd songs. I assume he's talking about one of the Weeknd songs. I don't fucking know.
I
That's
don't
probably the
know.
sexiest.
What are we talking
That's probably the sexiest part in that movie where they have sex to that Beyonce song because it's a very good song, and it's good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like if there's any material. There was actually material to dunk on.
Off during this movie. That's really disappointing to me.
There was actually material to dunk on. The second one was a movie you wanted to dunk on. It was great because fucking, like I said, every time there's a moment where Christian Grey gets on a helicopter and he fucking crashes, and this is after every plot point has been solved. Everything. They broke up again. They came back together. They fixed the evil X thing. Her boss is somewhere fucking, I don't fucking know. Oh yeah, smoking a cigarette on a motorcycle with a fucking leather jacket. Like, I'll get you next time, Grey. He just walked back to his mansion like, oh, I'm fine. And then they have your okay sex. I don't fucking know, man. Yeah.
Tell me how you really feel.
Peter Rabbit. Actually, Peter Rabbit seems worse than 50 Shades Freed.
Yeah,
I'm going to become
James
agree with
Corden
that.
is
James
back.
Corden, everyone's favorite guy you want to punch in the fucking face. He's back, baby. I don't like James
Is
Corden.
he just too, like, out there now? Like
He's too out there,
like
and
when
he's,
he- like when he
He's
first-
trying too hard.
he's trying way
like
too
when he
hard.
first,
He's like,
like-
please love me.
had his show, I was like, this is okay.
Please love me.
And then like he just became everyone. I'm like, come on, man. He's in fucking Ocean's 8. Yeah.
Out of all the dudes to add in the fucking like
I'm pretty
the
sure it's Ocean's 8.
female like
He's
vehicle.
He's like the dude that puts them all together.
That is
whatever.
not believable.
That's
at
not
all.
at all,
I
but
don't believe
okay.
that James Corden would be motivated to do anything.
Anyways, Peter Rabbit. Biggest movie of the month, maybe one of the best of the year, but highly anticipated, fucking probably one of the best
Peter
soundtracks.
Rabbit, we're talking
Here
about
we
it
go again. Black Panther. Excited for that album to drop.
Yeah, people are really excited for that.
Kendrick Lamar.
There's never been like a Marvel movie that had an album that people were excited about.
Soundgarden
Guardians
did
of
this.
the Galaxy?
That's just old
But
songs.
that was like old songs.
Oh,
This
okay,
has, like,
I don't know what
new
we're talking
music
about.
to it.
Oh.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is doing the original, producing the soundtrack for this movie, and Black Panther looks great. Afrofuturist, big budget Marvel movie. At the very least, it's going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, a historical film.
I've wanted a Black Panther movie since like I was like 10 years old. He's so awesome.
I know,
He's
very
a great
little.
character.
Where's Moon Knight? That's what I'm over here saying. That's me
Yeah,
in the movie
me
theater.
too, dude.
Where's Moon Knight? Where's the fucking character who's got a fucking white robe and a staff? Where's that guy?
Yeah, George, please say that at the Black Panther premiere.
All of that.
Okay, but yeah, Black Panther, but where's Moon Knight? Where's my Moon Knight movie?
But yeah, Black Panther. I guess this is an origin movie. Again, like normally everything about the Marvel formula is boring
I don't
as
think it's
fuck.
gonna be an
but I don't
origin
think
movie. I think it's because he was kind of explained enough in Civil War.
that's right. That was kind of well. He was the Black Panther before his dad died, right? Or did he become the Black Panther once his dad died?
I can't remember super well.
Because his dad definitely died in Civil War.
I know that for
This
sure.
is true.
Spoilers for Civil War. 2-year-old movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
2016.
Yeah. I don't fucking know, man.
If anyone who wanted to watch Civil War,
That's true. That is
has
true.
Definitely
There's a
watched
safe
it.
scene right now.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, so.
Not for long.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Black Panther. Really excited. Hope it doesn't disappoint. I think it's got a lot of pressure on it.
What is Happy
What the
End?
hell's Happy
I don't
End?
know anything about the plot.
Looking it up
It's
right
just
now.
Directed by Michael Haneke, I think is how you say his name. And he's
Haneke.
Sounds like there's gonna be
he's a
fucking.
cool- No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
boy, I
I
hope
didn't
so.
even think of that. I don't think so, but he directed one of my favorite movies, Funny Games, the U.S. version.
Oh, I always meant to watch that.
I like that movie a lot, so I've heard
The
about
remake or the original?
I've only seen the remake.
Okay.
I've heard they're both very good though.
Actually,
Yeah,
I think he
yeah.
made both. Yeah, he
Well,
made
he
both.
did make
He
both.
made both.
He definitely
yeah,
made
never mind.
both. But they wanted to do an American reshoot, and it was always supposed to take place in America. They just couldn't do it originally because of budgetary restrictions. But it's a really Funny Games is a really, really interesting movie, and I really like it. Even though the first time I watched it, I was watching it with a guy who's like really into the movie, and he's like, "You see this part? It's like all symbolic," and I was like, "I get it."
How about you?
Sounds like watching Mother.
It was like watching Mother with Darren
All
Aronofsky
allegory.
in the room.
God.
But he's like a few seats behind. He's like, so symbolism.
Yeah, like they play
symbolism.
they play an opera song while the family's riding into their home at the beginning. He's like, "Yeah, they're gonna play that song again later. It's gonna come back around." I was like, "That's
Motif.
really great." I'm
Good
so
for
glad
you.
you were here because I would be fucking lost. No, but it looks like I just am excited because I.
What's
really
it
like that
about?
movie. It's like I don't know anything about the plot.
That's a very iPhone-looking poster.
Drama about a family set in Calais with the Europe refugee crisis as the backdrop.
Ooh, okay.
It sounds interesting.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh,
Back
boy.
at it. What is it? What's Annihilation?
Annihilation is the
Oh.
movie by the writer and director of Ex
Ex
Machina.
Machina.
Oh.
So the Natalie Portman flower apocalypse looking thing.
Dush-
What's his
Dushima.
fucking name? The director of Alex. Is it? Anyways, Alex Garland, director of Dread. Obviously, great.
Ooh, I
God,
didn't know he
Dread
also
was
did
such a
that.
fucking good ass movie.
That's
God
very
damn it.
Yeah, I've seen this Annihilation trailer a couple times. I really like.
I love Alex
whatever-
Garland, so sure.
I really love whatever, like, I don't know if I would call it a song, but that sound that they use in the trailer was like, I really like that.
Look, man, Ex Machina was very
And
good.
director of the never released Halo movie.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And when I'm watching this trailer, it's got Oscar Isaac in it, and I'm glad that he actually got Natalie Portman this time instead of that robot lady who just kind of looked like Natalie Portman.
Alicia.
Laura
Vikander?
Croft Tomb Raider.
Oh,
God
boy.
damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I like her in the Ex Machina.
Yeah, she's very good at Ex Machina.
Everything
did
about
he-
Ex Machina.
Did he originally want Natalie Portman?
I don't know. I just feel like
Apparently, this is
I
being.
feel
Apparently,
like she really looked like I thought she was Natalie Portman when I was watching Ex Machina, and so then when the director of Ex Machina comes out with a movie starring Natalie Portman, I was like, oh well, that makes sense.
He finally got it.
why is Game Night on this list? We didn't really need to talk about Game Night.
Because it honestly, it's just a goof because we always have, like, I go to game night all the time, so it's like, they're making a movie about us. But honestly, this movie looks like fucking Office Christmas Party again.
It does
I
look like
do not
Office
wanna
Christmas
watch
Party.
it.
It's like, guys, we're gonna play games. Like, oh, this is all part of the
This
game.
is all part of
this
the game,
murder,
huh?
that's hilarious.
I shot
Okay,
Jason Bateman in the face. That's part of the game.
I was gonna say Jason Sudeikis, but it's Jason Bateman.
all part of the game.
So the next movie on the list is Mute, which is a
Actually,
movie-
real quick, I guess
Okay.
was it Annihilation's coming internationally to Netflix directly, but not
Yes.
here. Anyways, Netflix, Mute.
So Mute, this is a spiritual successor to Moon from
Duncan Jones.
Duncan Jones.
Warcraft.
Let's not talk about that. Moon is a great fucking movie. I don't
So
know if
I've
you guys have
heard.
seen
Yeah,
it.
I'm
So
still
I've heard.
meaning to watch it.
Very good movie. And as soon as like I read that he wants to make a spiritual successor to that, I was like, I'm on board to that. And that's Mute, and it's been in production for like a long time, and then Netflix picked it up like a few months ago, and now it's just gonna be out in February. So I'm excited.
Always a great
Although after I watched Cloverfield Paradox, I'm once again afraid that maybe Netflix is not capable of making a good movie. Like, at all.
Oakjo was good. Oakjo was good.
I still haven't seen it yet, man.
What's the cured here?
The
Yeah, no,
Cured
nice.
is Ellen Page movie. I saw it trailer for it, and it was about after the zombie apocalypse, they have a cure for the zombie apocalypse, and they cure all the zombies and make them human again. But
The
peop-
Last of Us 2.
But people are like, I don't fucking trust him because
Oh,
those people.
no.
Yeah.
God damn it, this sucks.
Are they gonna play The Cure by Lady Gaga in the movie?
God, I hope so.
Me too.
But I just
don't
remember
watch
I
it.
saw the trailer. IFC is making it, so I was kind of interested. And one of the little blurbs was like, "This does things with the zombie movie that I haven't ever thought of before."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, "Wow, great, man, that's fantastic."
This sounds great. Racial allegory.
We haven't had enough of those.
That's a hot topic right now.
Downsizing.
Oh, god
The
damn
movie
it.
that perfected that.
Anyways, that's it for February. Black Panther. Excited.
Annihilation.
50 Shades Freed. Maybe I'll go watch it by myself later tonight. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Movies Are Real. I hope Black Panther. I wish there needs to be where are the movies at. You know what I'm fucking saying? I say that as I need to catch up to this list. But
I'm excited about Isle of Dogs.
Oh shit!
That comes out in March, so I'm just thinking about. That's like the only 2018 release that I can think of right now that I'm excited for.
That's okay. So yeah, it's that and the movie you mentioned by the director of Summer Wars that I'm looking forward to.
Yep.
Man, that movie looks fucking unreal. Holy shit!
So excited.
Anyways, as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, we are currently working on our best of 2017 list, and that'll be up probably the first week of March, because that is when the Oscars, and we're riding that wave, baby. So look forward to that. I have no idea what was going to be on our top 10 at all, to be completely honest with you. It's going to get... I forget what category I saw. I was like, this one's going to be rough. That was the one. I was like, this is going to be
I don't
rough.
know. I'm pretty solid when I know who's going to win that one.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
As the bye-bye
Star Wars Discovery. Star Wars Discovery. That's what it is, baby. Everyone's favorite television show, Star Wars Discovery. This has been an episode of Movies Are Real. Thank you so much for listening. You can find me on Twitter at jcruzalvarez26. Ryan, where can people find you?
At Frying Pans on Twitter.
Carrie, where can people find you?
At car_Eliles.
Thank you so much for listening. As usual, if you could rate and review us on iTunes, that'd be great. I guess you can follow us at Twitter at Movies Are Real. I think that's what it is. I think that wasn't taken, our dumb fucking name.
Whoa.
We spent like a good month coming up with our name.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the next episode might be our best of, huh? That might be. We'll see. They might go all up in the same week, actually. Oh well. Until next time, we'll see ya.